What's going on, y'all? KM Best here, your favorite not 69th ranked Marvel snapper. Get your not nices in the comments below. We're going to talk about the new meta and where I started and what I had success with, and you might be surprised because this is not a deck that I often am playing. That's right, it was classic Destroy. After some struggles trying to adapt Thanos and Loki to the new meta, I eventually realized that there were a lot of weird mid-range decks running around, decks with Proxima Midnight, decks with Corvus Glaive, and I wanted to attack the metagame by just going taller than them, by playing a mid-range game plan that was like, I'm just going to put more points on the board than you. Destroy is kind of that deck. It is a deck that can put an astonishing number of points on the board and force these decks, even decks that go as big as Thanos, which now goes a little bit smaller, into at least 50-50 situations. I will point out very specifically that Arnim Zola is very important right now, in my humble opinion. Arnim Zola is the card that allows you to really multiply your points by a significant margin. Arnim Zolaing a Null, very good. Arnim Zolaing a Venom, very good. I even had games where I Arnim Zola'd gigantic Wolverines. Like, that is the kind of play that you need in your arsenal, and because Arnim Zola is such a surprise card, it might not be after this video, but like it still probably should be because that really is a flex slot. You are able to make sure that you get the most value possible out of the card. The other major change that has happened after the Forge nerf is that Forge is no longer in the deck. Forge is now just Hulkbuster, and that is a better version of Forge most of the time. This also places a bit more importance on Nico Minoru and her ability to give cards +2. While obviously her best ability in this deck is going to be Destroy and Draw 2, and her next best ability is usually the Copy ability, now giving your cards +2 has a little bit more importance, especially on a Deadpool, because you do not have that redundancy in that effect the way you did when you had Forge in the deck. This also means that you are going to have to focus on keeping your lanes clear if you want to get that value out of Hulkbuster. It's not necessarily a thing that I'm locked in on. I think you could argue Forge is a little bit better than Hulkbuster, or the alternative. I think that is fairly reasonably described as a flex slot, but I have Hulkbuster in there because I am focused, again, on maximum points output and not the floor. Floor on Forge, significantly higher. Ceiling on Hulkbuster, significantly higher. And this is a deck, as the Zola will attest, that is built to go for the ceiling. Deadpool is your primary method of getting some very stupid power onto the board. Generally speaking, you do not have the ability to interact with things very well, so you need to be taking advantage of like sort of mopey mid-range decks, hella if you can, by making boards that are just too big for them to reasonably contest. This is the primary strategy that this deck employs, and Deadpool is the vanguard of that strategy. He is the guy that gets really big. The deck needs a guy that gets really big. Snapping on early Deadpools is something you will do some of the time, especially if you have, Nico into Deadpool, Deadpool Hulkbuster into a Destroy card. Those are the kind of hands that you can reasonably snap and say, okay, yeah, I'm probably going to win this game. And yes, sometimes you're going to run into those matchups that you just can't beat. You're going to run into a Living Tribunal who has the nuts. You're going to run into a Thanos deck who has the nuts, but that's actually a little bit more beatable than it used to. You're going to run into a Loki deck that gets the cards out of your deck, gets your death, gets your null, you cry yourself to sleep. These things will happen, but that shouldn't discourage you from aggressively snapping. And as someone who is typically not an aggressive snapper, me telling you that should be meaningful. Nico Minoru is mostly used for, obviously, drawing 2 cards and blowing up a Deadpool, but she can also be used for giving your cards extra power, or, and this is a little bit less appreciated, copying a Venom pretty late in the game. So if you go like Nico Venom on 4, that is going to be a pretty big Venom you can then replay on 5, giving you an extra Destroy trigger that actually calls into question whether or not you really need a Deathlock in here. I have opted for the Deathlock. It was pretty good, but Deathlock's never going to be better than pretty good. And it is possible that using Nico in this way to double effectively having a Carnage or Venom, it will allow you to play around a little bit with that slot if you have something profitable to go there. I personally would suggest an interactive card. Shang-Chi, Enchantress would be kind of where my head would be at, but I think I have the base build here, and then we'll customize around the edges with the Hulkbuster Forge slot, and of course, the Deathlock slot. Now, Nico herself is mostly just very, very good in this deck, And you do have to sort of play with her a lot before you really understand how she works, before you understand how to use her in most situations. But I think if you just follow the heuristics of like, draw 2 when you can, make sure that you end up copying big stuff with her, use her as a Deadpool pumper some of the time. Like, this is not an overly complex card. She just does a lot of stuff. It's not necessarily too hard to figure out. The card that made Destroy great, X-23, is a very, very solid card and one of the best cards in this deck to see in your opening hand. Anything along the lines of Deadpool or X-23 is a solid opening hand as long as the rest of it looks even remotely plausible. Like, these are the cards you really need early. They are your early snap conditions. The earlier you identify what your opponent is on, the better off you're gonna be, because you are so able to snap early into good matchups when you have these good hands. You actually place a pretty high premium on identifying what they're going to be. X-23, obviously very sick. One of the main reasons I still have Deathlock in here actually is because X-23 needs to proc multiple times, and procking on turn 5 is usually the most important, so you can get out a 6+1 on the next turn, but sometimes you need to proc her on turn 4 so that you can get out a null and then Zola it, things of that nature. Mostly, you're just going to be proccing her as much as you can, but sometimes you are going to need to think, when do I need this energy, and what am I willing to sacrifice if she goes to the wrong lane? Carnage is a card that destroys stuff and gains power, and you should run it in basically every Destroy deck. Wolverine is bad Deadpool, bad X-23, but he's like a weirdly compelling card some of the time. Like, when you're not doing Deadpool or X-23 things, you're not a really good deck. But when you are replacing Deadpool X-23 stuff with, like, Wolverine, Hulkbuster, couple guys that blow up, maybe an Arnim Zola on a big Venom, like, that is a plausible thing you can do against some matchups. Now, that is the kind of thing where it's like, this is your fail state, but your fail state can run up against your opponent's fail state, and in that case, your fail state's actually pretty okay. And that's why it's important to have Wolverine in here. A lot of the time when you're really popping off, he's not a part of it, but he makes the deck a little bit more consistent because you are able to have these games where both you and your opponent are clunking, but your clunking looks like an 11 power Wolverine and a big Venom, and their clunking looks like not anything good. This could be Forge. The floor on Forge is higher. Obviously, it's a 2-4 as opposed to a 2-3, but the ceiling on Hulkbuster is higher as well because it adds additional power to Deadpool. Now, the other thing is a lot of the time Forge may also get eaten, and that can provide extra power to a Carnage, a Venom, a Null, and that is something that is worth considering. Like I said, though, I built this deck for max power. We want as much power as we can possibly get because the role this deck is trying to take is it wants to be able to go taller than Hela if you can. Hela just got nerfed after all. It wants to be able to go taller than Thanos if you can, and it wants to occupy this spot at the top of the metagame where, yes, you lose to like a Living Tribunal or whatever. You may lose to some Sarah control, but you are going so tall that you should be able to win the other matchups. That is the major thing that this deck is looking to accomplish. Killmonger is quite a solid card right now, just in its own right. Obviously great when you're doing Deadpool X-23 stuff, as good as it gets. Getting X-23 unstuck from various locations, obviously phenomenal. X-23's in a Cosmo lane, oh no. Deadpool's in a Cosmo lane, oh no. This card can solve it, and of course it works offensively as well. There's plenty of people playing bounce decks. However, you are going to have to try to explicitly throw priority against those bounce matchups if you want an actual shot at Killmongering them reasonably. The rest of the time, he is mostly just like, he's like a Swiss Army knife, right? He's not your biggest and best card. He's usually not part of your nut draw, but he can help in certain situations that other the other cards simply cannot help you in. This guy's so good. I mean, Venom is just the best of the Destroy cards here, and I remember that there was like I guess you'd call it like a leak. Like, they posted that they nerfed Venom on their website and then removed it 3 hours later, and there never was a Venom nerf, which means it's clearly on their radar too. And I think that's probably the correct thing. Like, this card as a 3/3 is quite solid. If they made it a 3/1 again, it would still be very good. Venom is just great. It's a great card, great target for Arnim Zola. Love the ability to like eat a Wolverine, get the power on the Venom. The Wolverine keeps the power elsewhere. Just everything this deck wants to do, Venom does it. If you could run multiple Venoms, you absolutely would be. He is the GOAT. I think Deathlock's an honest flex slot. If you want to be a little less consistent and a little more high rolly, you can take this Deathlock, replace it with like a Shang-Chi or something, and just really try to get people. Deathlock is the baseline here, but remember, as we talked about in several recent videos, swapping a card out for good cube equity is usually a good idea. So do feel free to do that. I think this would be the slot that I would mess with personally. Leaves you just Carnage, Venom, and Killmonger as boom booms, but maybe that's enough. Arnim Zola, I think, is my choice for this slot. I know other people are like, all right, I'm going to play Eliath. Like I said, I want maximum power. I want as much power as I can possibly get. I want to be like null into Zolaing. I want to be doing stuff that's really stupid. I want to make 80 power nulls because those are the numbers I feel like I have to get to have good matchups into Hela and Thanos. I need those 24 power Deadpools. I need those gigantic nulls. I need those free deaths. I need those on the board. They have to happen. And that means that Zola is a very good way of making it happen. Do note that there are certain lines that will involve, Venom on 4, Zola on 5. There's stuff that you can do there as long as you are proccing X23. That kind of stuff can happen too. There's a ton of options that Zola gives you, but one that should not be overlooked is the ability to get into closed off locations. Most people simply don't expect it out of a destroy deck, and it gives you just an asinine amount of surprise potential. If you're a destroy deck, this is the card that scales with destroy. I would recommend playing it. You're a destroy deck, this is the card that scales with destroy. I would recommend playing it. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for making it this far in the video. We're going to jump into some gameplay from High Infinite. Thank you so much, as always, for making it this far. Remember to like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on what you're climbing with early in the metagame. It took me a while to find something that I actually liked, and I am a little bit confused that it was this, but I did like it, and it was winning, so I can't really argue with it. Thank you so much, as always. I've been KM Best. You just got the KM boost. I will see you in the next one. Nico exploding Hulkbuster after merging with Deadpool. Wait, that works? Holy shit, I'm an idiot. I did not realize that worked. I forgot that worked, actually. Now that you mention it, I'm like, oh yeah, that does work. Fuck me. Yeah, I had that. I could have done anything but what I did, and doing what I did killed me. Stuff. Isn't Eliath version better? Huh. This feels like a snap. Whoa, he snaps me. Am I an idiot or is he an idiot? I'll snap back. Let's do it. I'm getting Loki'd. If you do it on the other side, I can Zola next turn. I can do that next turn anyway. Wait, that's not Loki. Oh, yeah, it is. It's Snowguard Loki. Okay, cool. You always just Zola? Oh. I have null, right? I have null plus Deadpool next turn. So I shouldn't be able to lose. Here's what I'm afraid of. Is there some sort of double move to the right that kills me? There's some sort of double move to the right that kills me. No, it's double move to the right, Shang something else, right? I'm making a dumb play. I don't know. Okay, we're good. Whoa. I was thinking, like, they have to, in order to pull that off, they have to have both Vision and Marvel go to the right. Carnage first, Buster second was fun, though. That is actually extremely funny, right? That makes, like, the world's largest, null. Just giganto null. If at any point I take priority, I'll try to blow those up. If not, I don't want to get blown out by bouncy stuff. See, look at that bouncy stuff. Hulkbuster Carnage is the play. Am I actually eventually going to try to Zola a fucking Wolverine? While playing Destroy, new meta, trying stuff. So they did not use their beast buff. Weird. Definitely weird. Okay, Black Swan. Perfect. All right, so are we just Zolaing this? We just fucking doing shit? We just play the card Arnim Zola and see what the fuck happens? Zolarine? I feel like I'm Zolaing Venom. Uh. Yeah, it does eat Wolf. It could eat Wolvie 2 times. Zolarine doesn't die to Shang. That's true. But the reason I wanted Zola Venom is because Great Web exists. I see. Spider-Ham Nico middle. Huh. Right. All right, that's Nico draw 2. We're manifesting it. Shit. I don't hate Nico buff. We are once again creating the largest Wolverine of all time. I see. Okay, chat. If I Killmonger right now, I can Zola the Wolverine next turn. We're so doing that, right? If I Killmonger right now, if X-23 goes left and I lose multiple 50-50s, fine, whatever. She stayed mid, chat. That's my girl. Wait, is this like Cerebro of some kind? Am I getting fucking Cerebroed? What's happening? What's going on? They'll need more Valkyries, I think, than they have. Oh, just Loki. Okay. Yeah. Alrighty. Thanos deck. They're probably going to Reality Stone this. which is fine. Wow, no? Okay. I just need Wolverine to not go to the left here. That's perfect. Am I just dead here? What I'm worried about specifically. And no X23 here really sucks. I can do 24 plus 12 next turn if I want it. I could play power this turn and null next turn. I'm not sure that's the right thing to do. That makes everything easier. No? This is kind of a 50-50, right? I get 14 and then some other numbers. I want to play around move dino play blob. Okay. All right, we're good. We're good. This was a scary situation, but null is 8 million pounds. And that is effectively the move dino play blob I was trying to play around here. Like, that's the same effective play, basically. This is a snap, right? Yup. See, I'm still liable to lose here. Just this is a tribunal deck, right? Okay, thank God. Hand sucks. Maybe we draw Deadpool and get the draw too. What the fuck? We have Deadpool X-23. And then next turn we can go like Deadpool, Wolverine, Carnage if we want. It kind of depends where X-23 ends up going. Oh. Okay, I mean that kind of solves the problem for me. See, if I'm them, I'm going for a Killmonger here. Try to kill my Deadpool. What I would be doing, right? Killmonger takes them to 14. Silver Surfer takes them to 20. Oh, 13. I can't even count. It's a Silver Surfer and we win? Oh, no. It's a Silver Surfer and we still win, but we don't win that lane. I forgot Asteroid M would pull a guy. Right. But yeah, they were going for the Deadpool thing. They were like, I'm going to blow up a Deadpool. And so instead, I did this. If you had read the redeem that you redeemed, you would know not to redeem it with the fucking code. You need to show me an actual picture of the deck so I can see it. Under no circumstances do what you just did. Please never do that again. What are you? Do not treat me like I work for you. It's so real. Oh, I hate this turn. Oh, I hate this turn. Wait, they stay? What the hell? Alright, I'm not gonna lie. I had no idea that's how that worked. I had absolutely no fucking clue that was how that worked. Please don't say FCL. What does FCL mean? I think you should not assume I just link bro doing this first time, chill out a little. Nah, man, don't treat me like that, please. I insist. Do I win this with a Zola? Or do I win this by just playing the card death? C5 gamer? True. I'm gonna try this one. Seriously, what is FCL? I don't understand what that means. FCI, FCL, FC. Someone tell me what it means. Oh god. Okay. Dude, I just got shit on? What is happening? I win? I win. Martyr loses them the game. What the fuck was that? Bro, because you called me bro. I responded to you in kind. I am probably meant to snap. Maybe I'm not supposed to snap that because it tells him what I am too early and he'll like reality stone it. But this hand's pretty good anyway, so I don't really give a fuck. Holy shit. That's really bad. I mean, I have the Killmonger to clear it up, but it's still really bad. Genius mode. Get rid of that. And give us a chance at getting it over there. X23, please go to Gamma Lab. I'm begging you. Yes! Holy shit, she has never cooked as hard as she is cooking right now. What a queen. X23, god level. Just going absolutely bananas. Bananas. So do I just null the middle or something? And just spend the rest of the game fucking around? Or do I, like, null this and then null Space Throne? Yeah, I think it's like... Wait, no, I can't null Space Throne. That's annoying. I just null the middle. That guy's huge. Intriguing. Wait, is the order supposed to be different on that? No, this is the one for max power. I mean, they get a cheap as fuck scar. So it goes, 21 venom over there. Yeah, they can't Shang us everywhere. They have a fucking free scar, though. That ain't nothing. They got a free scar and a blob. The issue is I can't find a lane the free scar wins them. So it's like a free scar and a blob, and then what? Like, my whole thing is I need to go bigger than free scar, right? Yo, the dopest body. Welcome back as well. Thank you so much. And a hype train. So if anyone else has some primes left over, this could be the time. I think these games show that Shang needs a buff. Maybe he should affect 2 or 3 or all locations. That seems like the right thing to take away from this to me. I regret using my prime earlier in the stream instead of holding it for a hype train. That's not something you should regret. That's just not something you should regret. Yo, PJ Games. You said prime and I was activated. Thank you so much. And Bust the Crackish. Hell of a name, buddy. You busting some cracks? Dude, I like how we have a value of the hand and I'm not doing shit with it. Like, doing absolute fuck nothing. Give it +2 power. That does seem cool. I am compelled. Yo, Evil Lord Soft, thank you so much. Deathlock, 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 Deathlock. What up, JJ? Oh my god. Things are just going very well for me right now. Things are just going very well for me. What's that order? Why would you ever... Oh, because you wanted to move the silt? I don't get it. I don't get it. So we pull off the sickest move of all time here, right? Sick and nasty. Disgusting. Literally no idea what. No idea. Like, if I hit pool, I lose. Is that true? I don't think so. That's the worst possible. All right. Nailed it.